Hello and welcome to the eFresh.com Fish and Seafood News. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Seafood sector is booming. Vietnam to continue export. Support for bluefin tuna ban. Delta to lead in seafood by 2020. EU gives fish sushi the chop. Aquaculture has become one of the fastest growing sectors in southern Australia. The industry surged by 25% from $209 million to $263 million in 2007-2008. It's indicated that almost 21,000 tons of seafood was produced, up from about 19,000 tons the previous year. The abalone and mussel sectors are predicted to double between now and 2010-2011, finish by 23%, and oysters 14% at the same time. The report shows that the tuna industry has almost doubled its harvest from 4,927 tons to 9,757 tons in the past decade. The Vietnamese Fisheries Quality Assurance and Veterinary Directorate are pursuing discussions with a Ukrainian partner for the establishment of a joint coordination mechanism to monitor imports and exports of seafood between the two countries. It has also invited officials from the Ministry of Agricultural Policy of Ukraine to come to examine the performance of Vietnamese seafood processors which intend to export their products to the Ukraine. New Ukrainian regulations requires foreign exports to be evaluated and given the okay by relevant Ukrainian agencies before being shipped and sold in there. While waiting for examination and recognition, Vietnam has asked the Ukraine to allow its seafood exporters to continue sending shipments into the country if they pass food safety and hygiene requirements imposed by the market. The UK and the Netherlands have put their weight behind a call to ban international trade in endangered Atlantic and Mediterranean bluefin tuna, following last week's vocal support from the campaign from President Nicolas Sarkozy of France. Dutch Fisheries Minister Gerda Verberg announced the Netherlands' backing for a proposal by Monaco to list Atlantic bluefin tuna on Appendix 1 of CITES, after a statement from UK Fisheries Minister Hugh Aranka-Davies that Britain is also supporting the global trade ban. Head of Fisheries at the World Wildlife Fund Mediterranean said that the WWF urges more countries to join this momentum and back the call to ban international trade in the imperiled Atlantic and Mediterranean bluefin tuna if they want to see a healthy fishery again in years to come. By 2020, the key economic region of the Mekong River Delta will become Vietnam's foremost producer of rice and seafood, said Deputy Prime Minister Hoang Trung Hai. Speaking at a meeting of the Steering Committee of the Mekong Key Economic Region in Can Tho City, Hai said the development of the region would serve as a driving force for the whole region. Hai asked concerned ministries, sectors, and localities to pay attention to the development of a modern infrastructure network within the region and the country as a whole. He said that in the course of development, measures must be taken to mitigate the impacts of a climate change, particularly the rise in sea level. Hai asked committee members to initiate measures to increase the export volume of rice and aqua products, the country's key exports. One of Aberdeen's Japanese restaurants took fish sushi off their menu after being told by food inspectors they would have to start freezing the fish to comply with European Union legislation introduced in 2006. The law requires all restaurants in the EU to freeze fish which is going to be used for sushi and sashimi for a minimum of 24 hours, at a temperature of no more than -20 degrees. The fish must then be defrosted in a fridge for a further 12 hours before it can be served. Restaurant owners are concerned that by freezing it, the quality and texture of the fish will be affected. A spokeswoman for the Food Standards Agency said they were conducting research to examine the prevalence of parasites in pellet-fed salmon in Scottish waters, with the possibility of making such fish exempt from the freezing rule in the future. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Fish and Seafood News. See you next time.